What's up everyone and welcome to the Dr. Guitar channel, where science meets soul. In this video I'll be doing a tutorial on the song Charlie by Jesse Wells. I'll be covering the difficulty, the tuning, the verse, the chorus, the interlude, and at the end I have 3 helpful tips. I've always been inspired by Jesse Wells, and if you're watching this video I'm sure you are too. So this tutorial goes out to anyone who wants to learn this song for Charlie. I give the overall difficulty of this song a 5 out of 10. If you take a look at the left hand, we have a lot of open chord shapes, but then he introduces a lot of bar chords coming up. So you'll have some bar chords, and then within these chords you're going to have alternating bass lines. So for this reason I give it a 6.5 out of 10. The rhythm of this song isn't too bad. It has a lot of repeating patterns of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. And pretty much the whole song I give it a 3.5 out of 10. The right hand in this song uses a technique we call Travis picking, and in this case he's doing a chord where he'll play a bass note with a pick, and then he'll do a strum, a down strum, and then pick, middle finger, pick a different bass note, ring finger, like this. I prefer to use my right hand fingerstyle patterns, but this is how Jesse does it, with a pick and a combination of fingerstyle. So for this reason I give it a 5 out of 10. To determine the difficulty of each song, I add up the left hand rhythm and right hand difficulties and round out that average. This is a rare tuning of the guitar here, where everything is tuned down one whole step. So that means that each string goes down 2 frets essentially. So if you're on the 6th string, which is normally an E, you tune it down to D. So that would be from E to E flat to D. So there's our 2 frets, and then you go, our normal A string would go down to A flat to G. And then our D string would go from D flat to C. So on and so forth. So the tuning would be D, G, C, F, A, D. Let's get started. This song starts on a G chord with just our 3rd finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret. And let's take a look at the right hand picking pattern, which is going to be 6th string, down strum, 6, 3, 4, 2. So that's pick, middle finger, pick the 4th string, use your ring finger to play the 2nd string. So if you put that together, it's down, strum, thumb, middle, thumb, ring. And that's how Jesse does it with the pick. Now I prefer to play it like this with our fingerstyle, which right hand fingerstyle pattern, which I think is a lot easier, and I recommend doing this at home. So that would be your index and middle finger on the 3rd and 2nd string, and then your thumb on the 6th string, and your thumb will be alternating, and index and middle will just stay where they're at. So this would be thumb on the 6th string, 4th and 2nd string together, and then a picking pattern of thumb, index, thumb, middle, which was 6, 3, 4, 2. When you put that all together, it sounds like this. And that's one pattern. So he does this pattern on a G chord 4 times. Then we're going to go to a C chord, and he does the same pattern here on a C chord for 4 bars as well, but we're going to have an alternating bass line. So put your C chord together and you'll do thumb, thumb and middle like normal, and when we do our picking pattern you'll have to move your 3rd finger to the 3rd fret of the 6th string, which is 6, 3, 4, 2. When you put both of those together, it sounds like this. So that's boom, chuck, picking pattern. And he does 4 of those on this C chord. And then from here, we're going to go to a D7, and we're going to do the exact same things we did on our C chord with our moving bass line, except we're going to have to add our pinky to the 3rd string, 5th fret, which makes this a 7 chord, and you'll have to do the same alternating bass line like this. And he only does this pattern twice on this D7 chord. So 1, 2, and from here we're going to go to our bar chord. So this is where it gets a little tough. So you have to do our 5th string bar chord minor shape on the 7th, 9th, and 8th fret, which gives us an E minor, and he does the same picking pattern here as the C and D7 chord, but we're going to have to alternate a moving bar chord here like this. So you do the pattern twice on it. So that's the 5th string, chuck, move the bass, pattern, and there you go. You do 2 of those. From here you go to a B minor and you do the exact same thing as you did on the E minor. And then this leads us back to a C chord, which we've already done this pattern before. It's the same alternating bass line. And then from here it changes. So we'll do a little bit different type of movement here where we do a 1 pattern movement. So you do a 1 pattern on G, and then 1 pattern on C with an alternating bass. And this is what gets repeated here. It does get a little fancy here. When you're on the G chord, instead of finishing the right hand picking pattern as normal, we're not going to do the full picking pattern. He does thumb, chuck, thumb, index, and instead of continuing on in the pattern, he just adds in a bass note of 2 on the 5th string, 2nd fret, which is a walking bass line up to the C chord, like this. From here, this leads us to a D7 chord again, 4 times, 2, 3, 4. When you put that all together, it sounds like this. This leads to our chorus, which we have now some easier chord shapes here. So we have our E minor 5 times. Then we're going to go to an A7 chord, so our thumb goes to the 5th string, following the root bass notes here. Twice. Same thing. And then you're going to go to a C chord for 1 pattern, and then an A minor for 1 pattern. And this leads us to the ending of our chorus, which leads to a G. So when you land on this G, this is a new little section here, which we're going to call Interlude. And when you're here, you're going to do a pattern on G twice. And then you're going to do a C/G. So you keep this 3rd finger on this 6th string, 3rd fret, and then you're going to add your 2 and 1 fingers as if you're playing a C chord, but you have this G in the bass. You'll do the pattern 2 times here. And then you go back to G and you do the pattern 2 times here. Back to C/G. When he gets to the interlude, also he really accents the 4th string open, which I like, by the way. I think it sounds very nice. When he does that, he's highlighting the 5th of the chord, which is just this really open sound that's really resonant. And he'll accent that every time, like this. Even on the C/G. First tip I have for the song is to practice the right hand without the left hand. So just work on this picking pattern of 6th string, 4-2 pattern, 6-3-4-2. So that's like this. And get better at that on your own. If you're doing it like Jesse, That's pick the 6th string, strum 4, 3, 2, then pick the 6th string, middle finger 3rd, pick the 4th string, ring finger 2, like this. And get faster at that, and then plug in the chords and see how you do. Second tip I have is to do the inverse of tip 1. Just focus on the left hand, no right hand. So instead of doing the picking pattern, we'll just do down strums, and this will help you align the left hand like this. So you're just getting to focus on this moving bass line, and you're not worrying about the right hand at all. Just getting the left hand oriented, and then try to add in the left hand. The third tip I have is to practice your bar chords separately. Just like we isolated the right hand, just like we isolated the left hand. Do the same thing with bar chords. People think you can just get better at them by playing songs over and over, but if you isolate them and work on them, it'll really improve it before you go into the songs, like training for football. And I got a video right here that'll help. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to help. And rest in peace, Charlie.